Amen. May I tell you what I think hope is? No one said no, so I'm going to go ahead. I was hoping you wouldn't. I think hope is, I believe hope is it's found in our connectedness with each other and with all of creation, with the universe, with God. It's our sense in this life of belonging to the oneness from which we came and the oneness to which we will return. God. I think when we feel that we're without hope, that we're hopeless, it's because we've lost that connection. We feel disconnected. We feel like we don't belong. We feel like we're alone. When we feel hopeful, full of hope, is when we most feel like we belong, like we're connected, like we are not alone. We feel the fullness of that oneness to which we all belong. Which is why hope has that feeling of sureness, certainty. It's why the prophet would say, the days are surely coming, because they are. There is no doubt. There is no sense of anything other than, I am certain of this. That's hope. When we feel we have lost our connection to each other and to the world around us, when we feel most alone, is when we feel hopeless. And the thing is, no one, no thing, no circumstance, no moment can make you feel as if you are without hope entirely. Can certainly move you in that direction. But the reason it can't completely is because hope is in life. It's in the life that connects us. The moment of living by itself has hope in it. You have hope in you. You may feel disconnected, but it's still there, which is why people and circumstances and events can also lead you back to that connection. Help you find your way back to that connection. Which is why the signs of hope are both the circumstance in which we feel lost and the moment in which someone helps us or something helps us come back, reconnect. When you think of signs of hope, don't you instantly think of moments of kindness or caring? Moments in which somebody was courageous, or somehow somebody inspired, literally inspirited you. But the context of that moment was not quite so positive, was it? We feel in the pandemic, the violence, the conflict, all of the things that are happening in the world. There's still hope there. There is, because there's hope in life. We feel disconnected. Those things try to drive us apart. But it's still there. And so we have moments which bring us back into that sense of connectedness, that sense of belonging. You know, speaking of disconnectedness, one of the things, and I'm not saying that there isn't really a long list of things, but one of the things that's complicated about religion is our language. We find ourselves often saying things like, this is what this word means. I did it a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about apocalypse. This is how we use it in the real world, but this is what it really means. And we'll say that about love too, won't we? How often do you hear people in church say things like, well, when Jesus talks about love, he means this. Even though we use the word to mean these other things in the real world, Jesus means this. As if those things are either or. And they're not, because Jesus is an and person, first of all, but secondly, because they're just not. I've done this, I actually did this earlier this week my own self. When we talk about hope in church, we mean this. We don't mean wishful thinking. We don't mean stuff like, maybe the Leafs will win the cup. I hope they do. We don't mean things like, I hope you feel better. That's just a wish. It's not hope. We do that all the time. We say, we mean this, as if all of those other things aren't what the word means. You're just using it wrong. You aren't, is the thing. You aren't. You can say, I hope the Leafs win the Stanley Cup. And I will be there for those moments of disappointment for you. But you can. It's not that we're using the word incorrectly. We're using it perhaps maybe on its outer fringes, but not incorrectly. It's not wrong. In fact, what's probably wrong is that's one of the ways that allows us to disconnect church from the real world. And you can't, because we are in the real world. You can't close the front door there and say we're not. We have hope because of our sense of, at its heart, our sense of our connectedness to each other. We can extend that hope. We can offer that hope. We can offer it in casual ways and we can offer it in inspiring ways, but we offer it to each other. We share it with each other because it's part of our sense of connectedness, part of our sense of living, part of our sense of belonging. We can certainly feel like it's hard to find hope, but no one can give it to you because you already have it. What they can do is help you find your way back. I just misspoke because I said what they can do, what you can do, what we can do for each other. Is offer those moments, those moments of living that Jesus teaches us. Those moments aren't just about, all those other words that we use, right? that we say, oh, we mean this in church, but it's something else out there, but it isn't. They're all good too. Grace, love, peace, joy. We don't define them differently. At their heart, what they're about is how we are part of a oneness, which is God, which is life, which is love and grace and all of those things. When we feel detached is when we feel like we have lost hope, when we feel disconnected. The story of Christmas is a story of love coming among us to show us that connection, to bring us back to that connection, to inspire us, to bring us back to God. There is hope.